This podcast is brought to you by Most Valuable Podcasts, leading the league in podcasting entertainment.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. This is the Fast Bag Podcast. I am your host, Sean Anderson. Thanks for the fast I'm your host, Sean Anderson. Alongside me, as always, is Ricky Widmer.
What's up, guys?
And Dave Oster.
Hey, everybody.
God, it gets douchier every fucking week, Dave.
I don't know if that's possible. I really don't.
I think that catchphrase is a cockroach. Like, we can't get rid of it. We can't kill it.
It's nuclear?
It's nuclear. It's awful.
Can't bring me down this week, Sean. Don't even try.
It is awful. And yeah, now we have to deal with the whole World Series and Cubs winning the World Series. But this is the basketball podcast, all right? Put your Cubs shirt away.
I'm just
even
saying,
though you're wearing it. Actually,
you
keep it
can't
on.
bring me down.
Keep the shirt on. But maybe we're talking.
You want me to take it off, Sean? I'll take it off.
No, we're talking NBA. We're talking NBA today. We're talking DeMar DeRozan, the person that I called overrated about a week ago, and he's probably already proven me wrong. Just like Rajai Davis did when I said he was the most worthless player on the Indians, and he hits a home run and a big home run in that. I called DeMar DeRozan overrated, and now he's putting up 36 points per game. So we'll talk about DeMar DeRozan. Is he a superstar now? We are also going to be talking about the 2017 NBA draft, and we're also going to be talking Rookie of the Year 2016, 2017, and I think we know Dave's answer. It's most likely going to be Joel Embiid, but stick around so Dave can talk about his buddy, the process, Joel Embiid. Did you know they actually announced him as Joel the Process Embiid?
I celebrated.
It was amazing. 76ers might be screwing up a little bit of the national anthem stuff here, but at least they're doing the intros right. So, anyways, let's jump in. First topic of discussion. We've been getting some hate for the Toronto Raptors here, and where we put them in our playoff prediction. We don't think they're a bad team. Yeah, I might think DeMar DeRozan's overrated. Dave might hate them, but
I don't hate them. I just, had them slotted a lot lower than a lot of other people had them.
Well, and one thing, comment that we received was how they were a 50-team win last year, and they just got better. You didn't get better. You stayed stagnant. You didn't really add that much to your team. You didn't lose that much to your team.
But they lost a ton. In a good way. They lost Bismack Biyombo.
Was Bismack Biyombo holding back DeMar DeRozan?
Maybe.
That's what it is. That's
Locker
the
room
true
cancer?
question. That's it, yeah.
Look at Orlando now.
It's true. Can't argue with those results.
But DeMar DeRozan right now, 36 points per game. We're recording this while there's a game currently going on, so this might be a different number when you actually listen to it. Right now, 24 minutes, 20 points against the Heat, so he's going to be near 30. By the end of this, and right now DeMar DeRozan is playing phenomenally. I mean, he's going to the line consistently, shooting pretty good from the line as well, 91%. He's shooting great from the field, 53%. I think he's hit 1-3.
It's not his game, and I'm happy he's not trying to, because a lot of guys in the league see the success of, a Steph Curry, of Kevin Durant now, and it's just like, oh, well, maybe I can introduce the three ball to my game.
Yeah, I wasn't really saying that it is his game, but I mean, he's still not efficient from out there. But I mean, one thing, he's more of like a D Wade, but just bigger. I mean, D Wade was never a good outside shooter, but he's good driving to the hole. He's good with a step back jumper, and he's a decent playmaker. But one thing that I've always said that he's overrated is that he's just a scorer, and I never saw him as much. Do you think that now we can say that DeMar DeRozan is a superstar? Because when we talked about shooting guards and small forwards, I don't think he would be in that top 7 that we had in our early season. And I think in shooting guards, I don't think he was a top 2 shooting guard. But in your mind, is DeMar DeRozan an actual superstar?
He's on his way there. I think the biggest holdback for calling him a superstar is the media, and because he's playing in Toronto, they have a huge presence, and look, they're a fantastic fan base, but when it comes to ESPN media, US media, like Fox Sports, all of the major groups who do sports coverage, Toronto gets the short end of the stick quite often. So while he is putting up phenomenal numbers and showing that he's one of the best scorers in the league, superstar is one of those things where it's not entirely dependent on your play. It's dependent on your brand as a whole.
Well, and that's the thing. But when you look at the city, I'm going to answer it kind of twofold. Is he a superstar for nationally? No, because of everything Dave just said. I don't have to repeat that. But is he a superstar in Toronto? The answer to that question is yes.
Well, I mean, hold on. Are we really talking like media? I mean, media-made superstar? Because, I mean, he's not going to be selling the most jerseys, but more I'm talking a superstar in the way that can he be a guy that leads the Toronto Raptors to an NBA Finals?
Yes.
You really think that DeMar DeRozan can be a LeBron James type player?
Well, you throw out the LeBron James
but I mean,
name.
let's take a step back. Let's go James Harden. He was, again, previous to the season was a shooting guard.
Yet again,
who was a scorer.
I think the way you got to see this,
But he's not a playmaker like James.
The way you have to see this conversation is he on the level of LeBron James or James Harden or Russell Westbrook? God, no. But it's kind of like I think of it when the NFL, when we look at quarterbacks. Do we look at quarterbacks and say, oh, he's blah, blah, blah? I'm going to throw Jay Cutler because he sucks. Jay Cutler on the same level as Tom Brady.
I've got time to argue with you.
No.
Well, I think that's more like Ben Roethlisberger versus Tom Brady. Because, I mean, DeMar DeRozan's not that low down.
In this one, though, I think you could make the argument of DeMar DeRozan is a superstar, but it's on different tiers. Where LeBron, James Harden are up here, DeMar DeRozan's down low because he doesn't need to be that media darling. He doesn't need to be known by everyone. He just needs to be loved by Toronto.
I'm not talking media-wise. I'm talking more like player-wise because I don't think he's a guy that I mean, after the great season he's having so far, again, it's 5 games.
He was our
I still want to see it.
He was our fourth shooting guard.
Yeah,
he was our top 4.
He was our 4th shooting guard behind what? James Harden, Clay, and who was
CJ.
CJ, okay. Which he should probably be above CJ.
Yeah, that was disrespect. But we were all calling high on CJ.
And the one thing about DeMar is, and CJ can't lead trail, but Portland by himself. And I think Clay would be able to lead a team by himself, but I think he'd be very limited. James Harden can do that, which again he should probably be number 1.
Now he's a point guard.
Should have been number 1, but anyways,
dicks.
The thing with DeMar DeRozan is I still don't think he's a guy that can lead you to like a finals by yourself. And yeah, he's got Kyle Lowry there, but like superstar. Like,
see, and that's the thing.
Would he be like if we do a fantasy draft? Would he be a top 15 pick?
But that's the thing. Go back to what you said 2 seconds ago. He's got Kyle Lowry. Is he gonna?
I'm saying him.
I know, but is he going to have Kyle Lowry after this season? Might not.
Well, we're just talking right now for this season.
He might not, and I'm thinking about it in the future too. This is a guy who, if I'm looking at right now what he is putting out, because the most interesting thing to me about his play to start the season, when you look at, I'm just looking at the point totals, 40, 32, 33, 40, and then 20 right now as we're recording this podcast. That might have gone up. However, the most interesting part is usually when guys sign a new contract and
24 now
and get that money, usually they back off a little bit. Okay, I don't have to play as hard because I've got the contract. I don't have anything to play for, that uncertainty. Whereas me, I already look at these numbers and I'm like, wow, this is the kind of start you see either from a superstar or B, a guy who's in a contract year and he's not in a contract year.
Well, that's the real reason we're talking about him here, and mentioning the superstar. That name there is because of what he's doing on the floor. I mean, it's ridiculous. 2 40-point games, 33, 32. Right now he's got 24 and 27 minutes. He's most likely going to play over 32. So I mean, he's probably going to hit 30 again. So I mean, superstar. I mean, it's hard to say like, all right, what is a superstar? Like, yes, there's a superstar in the fact that you are a household name, getting huge deals, constantly being the talk on just in media in general. So I mean, DeMar DeRozan isn't really a guy in a superstar in that standpoint, but I'm talking more a superstar for a team. So like D Rose was a superstar in 2011, and I would say that Isaiah Thomas was probably he was a superstar last year. Isaiah Thomas for the Boston Celtics was a superstar.
It pains me to admit you're probably right on that one.
Yeah, and Dwight Howard when he was in Orlando, he was a superstar, but when he left, I would say he lost that stature.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So I mean, DeMar DeRozan, in a sense that if he's in the place he's right now, I would say he's a superstar in the fact that he is a great player on a great team right now. But would I be like, yeah, I want DeMar DeRozan on my team? I really think he can make us a championship team. I don't know if he's that player yet.
Before this year, I would have said no, but he's off to a crazy start. But
can he keep it up?
Well, that's the question. I mean, I'm not a fortune teller over here. It looks good. His play style looks good. He shored up a couple of things. Finishing at the net is one of them, and the free throw shooting is the other.
That's the biggest thing, is getting to the line.
And yeah, that's his game. He's somewhere between, and it's weird to say this, but he's somewhere between like old Kobe Bryant and Vince Carter. Like, that's his play style. He is fantastic driving to the hoop. His outside shot, no one's going to give him, a second guess behind the three-point arc. They're just like, yeah, go ahead, take the shot. I dare you. So it's really up to him to create his own plays. So with DeMar, I think he can be consistently good. I don't think he's going to maintain 36 a night, but look, he is taking over this team. Ricky, I think what you mentioned about, the Kyle Lowry, is this, are we going away from the Kyle Lowry led team? I think you're probably right. I think DeMar is like, I signed the contract. I wanted to be the guy in the city. There's a reason I didn't leave for LA last year, because this is my city and I want to go down as the best. And I feel like a lot of guys, it's like you said, they got the contract. I don't care. I'm just going to cruise. He's like out to prove it to the entire city of Toronto that I'm the man and you deserve everything you paid for.
Well, and I mean, you look at just the fan base alone for Toronto. No matter what the team is, the big two I'm going to use are the Raptors and the Blue Jays. They're usually the team, when they do get the media coverage, they're usually showing them like during the game breaks where you got the fans outside and the like Fear the North kind of flag over the crowd. And this is a city that loves their team. Every city loves their team, but I'm seeing
San Diego.
I'm seeing
Any San Diego team.
I'm seeing DeMar DeRozan come out with a certain fire, and I like it. And the one thing that I think that he's doing the best at is exactly what Dave mentioned: the free throws, getting to the line, 6 of 6, 8 of 8, making them pay for it. Hell, against the Wizards, he had 11 for 16 from the line.
I mean, right now, if you're looking at stat lines, the 6 games he's played, I mean, the person he probably compares the most to is that one season Jordan shot like 17% from 3 and like had 36 points. Again,
hold
he's
back
not
the
gonna
GOAT conversation.
And no, I'm not saying he's the GOAT, but like
but comparing him to.
But like
I felt bad enough saying somewhere between Kobe Bryant and Vince Carter.
The play style is like the old NBA. It's like if he was in 2002, then yeah, he's a superstar.
Yeah.
I mean, he's up there with Vince Carter and Tracy McGrady. Tracy McGrady and Vince Carter were better 3-point shooters, but then again, there is a more of a reliance on perimeter defense. So we don't know how many of those were actually contested.
I think the thing you have to take for credit here, though, is he's going up against top-level competition. He went up against Detroit, was a playoff team last year, went up against Cleveland, champions. Washington, we expect to be a playoff team. Denver, no slouch themselves.
Bad, though.
I know.
Yeah.
It's the expectation going in.
Yeah,
and on
okay.
paper, these should have been challenging games. And look, they've eked by against Denver. They killed Washington, and that Cleveland game was a nail biter all the way through. So honestly, there's not much you can take away from the man on this. He's delivered every night, and he looks to be continuing to do that. So I think he continues on this hot streak. I think he might cool off to a measly 30 to 31 points a night. By the time
when?
Probably by Christmas. I'm going long. I'm going a month and a half.
I mean, where do we see him topping off at? I mean, can he threaten for a scoring title? Because looking at it, I mean, James Harden and Russ might be and Anthony Davis too. I think
if KD keeps rolling the way he did, and he's playing off that,
But how many games will he play? Will he be enough? I mean,
he dropped 29 in the first half against OKC.
Well, we know how good KD is, but then again, he also has to go with Steph and Clay. And Clay's been bad so far. He's been disappointing.
And so is Draymond. Neither one of them are hitting their shots. So KD is getting the most shots in Golden State. So that's why I'm like, look, if they want to, they can feed him another scoring championship.
They could, but will they? I mean, that's a tough thing with how many players they do have there. DeMar DeRozan, I mean, Kyle Lowry is another guy, but I mean, he's getting like 20 points a game.
We're talking about a guy jumping from, is he at like 20 points a game?
24, I think, yeah. 24,
yeah.
23 and a half last year.
So I'm theoretically saying a 6-point jump in a season. That's huge. That's almost like most improved player huge.
Yeah, and the one thing too, I mean, he's been way more efficient. I mean, looking career-wise too. I mean, his free throw percentage is down by a little bit comparing it to last year, but I mean, 85 and 82 right now. How early it is, early on in the season,
few shots.
Isn't that off?
And the one thing you also have to look at, the points are coming from different places now. Where I mean, last year to this year, we see the increase with DeMar DeRozan that we've obviously talked about, but Kyle Lowry. He's below his average for last year. Damari Carroll, below his average for last year.
He was hurt most of the year, too. But
and the two guys that have kind of, and I'm just looking at averages so early in the season, the guys who have more points so far, DeMar DeRozan and then Valanciunas.
And one thing, too, for DeRozan is, too, last year he shot like 17 a game. Now he's up to 25. So, I mean, he's taking more shots and he's being more efficient with those shots. Career high in efficiency with 55 field goal percentage. So, I mean, the one thing with DeMar DeRozan is he's being more efficient with his shots. He's being more selective, and that's something that's paying huge dividends for his career, obviously. And also, I mean, Toronto's 3-1.
And when it comes back, just to circle it back to the question, I think my answer is going to be when it comes to superstar, I'd put him as a tier 2 superstar, where he's not the LeBron, he's not the James Harden.
He's that B+ superstar.
You might not say, hey, I want him on my team, but you'd be happy having him on your team.
I feel like it's got to be a certain
However,
team build, though.
He's going this year to show that I am the team captain and the solid team captain for the Raptors this year.
One thing, I do feel like him and Kyle Lowry, though, don't really argue for that. I feel like either of them can be, but I know what you're saying.
That's what you get from Lowry. He's a veteran. He's 30, 31. Like, it's not like he's one of these young kids.
So does DeMar. DeMar's 27. He's just hitting his prime.
Well, that's the thing.
Yeah.
You're not dealing with, the Bradley Beal, John Wall drama, the Russ KD. Like, these are two guys who are a bit older. They're a bit more developed. They have their game defined. They know their role on the team. And you don't see any of that conflict between them. So, honestly, it's probably something that doesn't go, noticed enough is their bond between each other. I don't even know what you want to call it, but
I'm going to throw out an analogy. And this
Friendship?
analogy...
Is that what it's called?
Yeah, it's weird just saying basketball.
I'm going to throw out an analogy, and of course the guys I'm throwing out are on a higher plane
I thought they were going to be Bulls.
Because they are superstars. No, but they're from the city of Chicago.
Of course they are.
These guys could be, and DeRozan and Lowry could be to the Raptors what Taves and Kane are to the Blackhawks.
Yeah, I think in different ways, but I know what you're saying.
Yeah, just the 1-2 on the team. They're together. You don't really see much drama between them.
Or your Rizzo and KB.
Rizzo, I'll take that
there
too.
You go.
Well, and it's like I learned this week, Sean. Saw a thing on Twitter. It said all you gotta do is find someone that looks at you the same way Rizzo looks at KB.
Oh, okay. So that's what we had to re-record?
Yep. That's pretty cute.
All right. So anyways.
That's what I'm looking for. The girl that looks at me like Rizzo looks at Chris Bryant.
Anyways, you brought up B+ superstars, and that DeMar DeRozan's in that. Who else would you say is in that? Because A-level superstars, you obviously threw out LeBron, Steph, KD, Russ, James Harden.
Yep.
Who else is in that B+ or B level for you for superstars?
I'm going to throw out a guy and have you either one of you two answer it. Where would Paul George fall?
That's pretty fair.
Yeah.
I would say B.
It's a small market. He's definitely one of the most productive players in the league.
And I would say Kawhi's in there too.
Yeah,
I mean, not trashing Kawhi's play, but
Jimmy Butler, I would say, is a B+ superstar.
I think he's B+ just because of his actual talent.
Yeah.
Where Kawhi's more of the market, and maybe Paul George is more of the market, but where DeMar DeRozan and Jimmy Butler are probably more there because of their talent.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. I was just trying to get more of a baseline. Let people know. I mean,
we're not totally discounting you, but like it's just unfortunate that as a brand he doesn't have that kind of pull that all these other players do.
Would Dame be a
yeah,
B+?
Dame's a B+.
Okay.
Or B. That's just because market again. I mean, like some of these guys could be A's, but it's just more.
Yeah, it's like Carmelo's an A because New York City.
And he was so good when he was
exactly.
Good. And I mean, yeah, he's been down a little bit, but still, I mean, Carmelo's still an A guy, and D-Wade too because of his years in Miami. But not really his talent anymore, more name recognition. And I think DeMar DeRozan really hasn't had his time to have that superstar moment. Yeah, so we'll definitely see. Do you think he ends up as the scoring champion? It's scoring title champ. Yes or no?
That's going to go to Harden or Russ or KD. One of those three.
I think it's going to go to Harden or KD.
No AD? No, Anthony Davis is gone now?
We went from 45 and 50 a night to
been a week.
Realistic. Dude, he's not going to survive a whole season.
Realistic. We're talking DeMar DeRozan after 5 games.
AD's not going to last a whole season. Do you see how
31 points.
Do you see how bad his team is?
His team's
that's what I'm saying.
I was just going to say, do you see what team he plays
physically, him and Russ scare me. So that's why I've got to go into KD or Harden.
One thing I want to mention too is just completely off the cuff. Not even a guy who's a superstar though. Who might be though. I've been talking TJ Warren about the Suns, and everyone's just not
improved player.
Not backing me up on it. He's been looking better than Devin Booker so far in this year.
He's a volume scorer,
and he's good at it.
He's good at it,
and
but
he's
he
good
has
at it.
Some personality problems.
He's good at it though.
I'm not arguing.
Yeah,
This is a great year for him. It's a fantastic start.
He's
probably got most improved. Like he is last year how CJ ran away with it. Like he's probably in that same category right now.
Yeah, and the reason I throw it out there is just because we were talking Pelicans. I wanted to see what AD was doing. They're going up against the Suns. He's got 14 points right now. So just want to say it. But anyways, final notes on the DeMar DeRozan talk. DeMar DeRozan made me eat my words. He's not an overrated player. but does Toronto lock up the 2 seed if he continues playing like this?
It's hard that they don't. I mean, and this is coming from a guy who had them at like 5, 6, something awful that Toronto scolded me for. But no, I think that they're killing it right now, and DeMar DeRozan definitely can carry the weight on his shoulders.
Ricky?
Yeah, I
You
I
already
had him
there,
at 2,
yeah.
so yeah, keep him there.
Yeah, and I think definitely, and it wasn't, again, Toronto fans were salty at us, and we've given you so much love before,
And
so
that's the one thing I want to say. Salty at us, Toronto fans. I had you at 2. Don't be salty at me.
Look, just
They
because we
bunch
get
us in.
hyped over new acquisitions for other teams, and you guys made the big move this season of
Getting
drafting
rid of-
Jakob Poeltl
I was gonna say
and
getting
getting rid
rid
of
of
Bismack
Bismack.
Biyombo.
Yeah, they got rid of Bismack. dude.
But yeah, no, I mean, I think it was more of hyping other teams and just kind of forgetting about Toronto. It wasn't really done with a slight, even though I said DeMar DeRozan was overrated. But you know,
maybe.
honestly, I think that they can be, and that East is going to be tight anyways. So I mean, 1 to 5 in the East isn't bad and does not make you a bad team. The 5 seed in the East can beat not the Cleveland Cavaliers, but they can beat the 2 seed at least.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, I think I agree with you guys that if DeMar DeRozan keeps us up, then they can definitely be the 1 seed.